Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Jazzy of Video Store Sasquatch here, and it's Throwback Thursday. We have the 14 days of presidential movies before Inauguration Day, a little box office, and one little news thing here. So we'll start with our 14 days of presidential movies for Inauguration Day. Thursday, um, January 9th, Deep Impact, directed by Mimi Letter, starring Robert Duvall, Tia Leone, Elijah Wood, Morgan Freeman. A comet is discovered to be on a collision course with Earth as doomsday nears. The human race prepares for the worst. This movie is really awesome. Um, like all these movies are really cool. It's just, you get to watch them. A little cool Americanness, a lot of '90s-ness, a lot of cool little action, little peeks into where people are gonna be. Like this one had John Favreau, Laura Innes, Mary McCormick, Lily Sabisky. So Mary McCormick, kind of Howard Stern, John Favreau, of course, pretty much the leader of the Marvel and Star Wars universes now. Really good movie. Give it a what? We said 8 years, so I'll give it a 7 out of 8. Um, Morgan Freeman, awesome president. I'm talking about presidents here. I mean, at the last second, we get these guys to save the day. So yeah, definitely one of the ones you got to check out. And then Friday we had January 10th, Mars Attacks, directed by Tim Burton, starring Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Michael J. Fox. Earth invaded by Martians and unbeatable weapons and a cruel sense of humor. This is a funny movie. Tim Burton directed it. It's a good kind of like rip off of like a funnier version of Independence Day. Michael J. Fox plays a reporter. Sarah Jessica Parker is like model girlfriend. We have Jack Nicholson playing the president. Just and another character on top, like a scumbag Las Vegas guy on top of it. And a couple other people that are just you'll just be surprised they're even in it. Is Annette Bening, Dane DeVito, Natalie Portman, Jack Black, Christina Applegate. I mean, there's a longer list than that. This is just the top handful of names I could think of. This movie is an 8 out of 8. It's hilarious. When they dress up and as the lady and they try and seduce the guy. I mean, there's so many good funny parts about this whole movie. Check it out if you have never seen it. It is definitely worth a watch. It is very good. Has a very good sense of humor in it and a very good just direction and writing on it. And that was Mars Attacks, directed by Tim Burton. Right here we have the Saturday, January 11th. We have White House Down, directed by Roland Emmerich, starring Channing Tatum, Jamie Foxx, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jason Clarke. While on a tour of the White House with his young daughter, a Capitol Police then springs into action to save his child and protect the president from a heavily armed group of paramilitary invaders. Some notables in this: Richard Jenkins, Joey King, James Woods, Jimmy Simpson. It's Always Sunny. He's he's one of the funniest guys in that. Is the rival there, and then Lance Reddick. This movie is awesome, action packed, all kinds of America. We get the president shooting guns just like in Air Force One. We got a shootout on the lawn. We get the limo running around with the president in it. It's a great movie. What was here? 7 out of 8. Great action movie, funny. Jamie Foxx on top of stuff. I mean, just all these movies are just so awesome. Just bring out just a bunch of America into you and just different versions of it. It's just a great action movie, and that was White House Down, directed by Roland Emmerich. And then Lee Daniels, okay, Sunday, January 12th. Lee Daniels, The Butler, directed by Lee Daniels, starring Forrest Whitaker, Oprah Winfrey, John Cusack, Jane Fonda, and Cecil Gaines served 8 presidents. During his tenure as butler at the White House, the civil rights movement in Vietnam and other major events affect the man's life, family, and American society. Notables in this one is Terrence Howard, Cuba Gooding Jr., James Marsden as Kennedy, Rob Williams as Eisenhower, Lee Schreiber as LBJ, and Alan Rickman as Reagan. This movie is very good. It's a very good story. Very cool. or very interesting to kind of learn about the history of everything. Especially, I feel like you get a good history and indication of the American butler system and like the servant system and stuff like that. Just the way everything is in this, and then just set up. This is, I think I believe it's an Oscar. It's the first time I watched it. I'm glad I kind of went back and I decided to choose this one because this one was very good. You get tell like 8 different presidents, that different versions of the Vietnam era, just different versions of the presidents that you might not think you've seen before. So I definitely would check this one out if you've never seen it. This one's actually on Hulu. This is the first one we had to pay for. That's Lee Daniels, the Butler, directed by Lee Daniels. And then Monday, January 13th, we have Dick, directed by Andrew Fleming, starring Kirsten Dunst, Michelle Williams, Dan Hedaya, and Will Ferrell. After wandering off during a White House tour, two high school schoolgirls inadvertently become Richard Nixon's top secret advisors at the height of the Watergate scandal. Some notables in this one, comedy notables really. Anna Gasteyer, Dave Foley, Jim Brewer, Ryan Reynolds. There's some more. Um, this is hilarious. There's a lot of good jokes. And with Richard Nixon also, being a name for Dick, you get a lot of good Dick jokes throughout this whole movie. We end up finding out that these two girls are Deep Throat, and of course, this is before actual Deep Throat was found out who it was. So it's actually kind of like a fun little like theory story where we have Will Ferrell being Woodward from Woodward and Bernstein, and like discovering all this, and then you kind of see Bernstein being kind of a douche. So definitely a funny movie. Check it. This is one of the most underrated funny movies that you'll watch if you've never seen it. It's from 1989. I definitely would check it out if you've never seen it because it is funny. It's a good like reimagining of a story that everyone knows, and you'll immediately know it. So that was Dick, directed by Andrew Fleming. Wednesday, January 14th, I watched My Fellow Americans, directed by Peter Segal. Starring Jack Lemmon, James Gardner, Dan Aykroyd, John Hurd. Two former U.S. presidents, hated rivals, joined forces to expose the current corrupt president at the risk of their lives. Some notables in this one is Wilford Brimley, Bradley Whitmore, Conchetta Ferro, the Two and a Half Men, Nanny, and Michael Pena. 1996, Michael Pena popped up in this movie. Think about that. He's about every Mexican and everything. So that is awesome. This has to be one of his first starts. This movie is awesome. It's hilarious, and like to think about like George Bush and Bill Clinton probably at this point in time, or even I guess Trump and Biden like going across the country trying to save each other's asses and doing all this crazy shit. I think it is just a comedy there. A very funny movie. Dan Aykroyd's brilliant in this as a president. Like you just kind of believe him. Like Dan Aykroyd is a really underrated comedy actor when you kind of see everything he's in, and Jack Lemmon, of course, James Gardner. And this is just classic. That is My Fellow Americans, directed by Peter Segal. I guess. And then we have today's one we watched was Wednesday, January 15th, The Manchurian Candidate, directed by Jonathan Demme, starring Denzel Washington, Liev Schreiber, Meryl Streep, and Kimberly Elise. In the midst of the Gulf War, soldiers are kidnapped and brainwashed for sinister purposes. Some notables in this one are Anthony Mackie, that was 2004, Al Franken, John Voight, Vera Farmiga, some other people in it. I mean, this movie is awesome. This is no wonder why it won a bunch of Oscars and Academy Award was up for a bunch of Academy Awards. I mean, just a great story, great start of it. Very believable, very grounded, very based in reality. I love these kind of thrillers that they kind of send you on, but this one you kind of get to peek behind the scenes to know that everything is happening the way it is supposed to be happening, and he is actual like brainwashed and stuff like this. Denzel brings it. Great movie. That is mature. I guess we'll give it what I guess we didn't do the last two, but all of them pretty much all these movies are all 7 or 8 out of 8s. All classics, all great movies. This one especially. The coolest thing about doing all these like presidential movies, you're just seeing all these actors. I mean, we're talking A-list actors here. We've got Meryl Streep, John Voight, Jack Lemmon, Jack Nicholson, Jim Brewer, Dave Foley, Kirsten Dunst, Terrence Howard, Cuba Gooding Jr., Forrest Whitaker, Channing Tatum, Jamie Foxx, Danny DeVito, Michael J. Fox, Elijah Wood, Morgan Freeman, Robert Duvall. I mean, just Jon Favreau. Just all these names are all involved in all these because these movies are always gonna be big deals. And when you get big deal movies, you get big deal actors, and it's just cool to see it. It's cool to watch it. There's a bunch of America going on. Having a hell of a time watching them. We got one more week of it, or one more weekend of it, pretty much, and then we're going to be done with the presidential movies. It was fun to kind of think of what is a presidential movie and what could you kind of get away with. So having fun with all of them. So that's our throwback part of it. And then our box office for the 10th through the 12th on January, Den of Thieves let it out with Pantera at 15 million, Mufasa, The Lion King, 14.2 million weekend with 189.8 million total. Kind of started this kind of situation. Let's go back to the Den of Thieves here real quick. That's actually kind of low. I thought it'd be around 25, 30 opening, but 15 was a little low. But this whole weekend, when you look at it, these three movies that we're about to list are the only ones over 10 million, and they're barely over 10 million. So it was just a little weekend, anyways. And that was Mufasa, The Lion King, $14.2 million weekend, $189.8 million total. And I think they're 5-6 weeks in. Sonic the Hedgehog, same thing, same weekend as Mufasa. We got 11.4 million, and that total is 2049. That's the first time, no, second time now that Mufasa's beat out Sonic. I think that the Moana crowd for Disney has finally left and wanted to see Mufasa, and it helped. And then Sonic's just going to kind of naturally go and die off. These movies are good. All three. I didn't watch Mufasa, but the two, Den of Thieves and Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, Den of Thieves, I wasn't the best movie, but I just figured it'd sell better because it had a lot of good people in it, like Gerard Butler, O'Shea Jackson, and it has a good. The Den of Thieves was good. The Den of Thieves Pantera was all right, and then Silent Hedgehog 3, just they keep getting better, and Jim Carrey is hilarious. And the one little piece of news I have, well, I guess if you gotta keep watching WWE, Penta debuted today or last week finally, and then I believe Valkyrie won the first ever women's Intercontinental Championship. And other than that, we finally found out what Chris Nolan's movie is gonna be. It's gonna be the Odyssey. I'm kind of excited for that. I think that would be a great interpretation of it. I want to see Christopher Nolan's interpretation of it. Are we gonna get like a Odyssey, or are we gonna get a Christopher Nolan Odyssey? Are we gonna get a futuristic Odyssey? So it'll be cool to see what he's gonna do. He has the $250 million budget. I believe if you remember me saying it's like Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Tom Hanks, and just a bunch of good people are involved in this movie. So it's going to be stacked, just like all these movies that we were talking about earlier are stacked. It's going to be big budget. 2026, I believe, is the release year. Maybe 2027, knowing like setbacks and stuff like this. Probably expect it. So I guess that's all we want to talk about today. Whether your hearts or say a prayer or just a thought about the people in the California or in Los Angeles and stuff area, with the fires going on, just sit back, think about it. If you can think about going to donate to Red Cross or whoever's leading the mission, but just definitely think about it. And just think about the situation, or best say a prayer for someone, if that's your thing. We'll all try to do it. I'll definitely do it. And just that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good rest of your night or day, and please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section, and see you next time in the cave.